I'm Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor.
Very, very rocky.
Death by government.
Drain the swamp.
Hello and welcome to another installment of Liberty Nation's Swamponomics videocast. I'm Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor. This week, the return of a part-time jobs nation. Everyone celebrated the March jobs report that showed 303,000 new jobs in the establishment survey and nearly 500,000, get this, in the household survey. The unemployment rate remained below 4%, while the labor force participation rate climbed. All is well then. Not quite. As usual, the headline numbers are masking the concerning trends popping up in every employment report since the US returned all the pandemic-era lost jobs in June 2022. The one notable development in the US economy today has been the explosion of part-time jobs and the decline of full-time positions. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, or BLS, the country has shed 1.8 million full-time jobs since November 2023. By comparison, the nation has added close to 2 million part-time jobs in the same span, exceeding the pre-crisis level. This also includes a 691,000 jump in March alone. Ultimately, as stock market advisor Stephanie Pomboy of Macro Mavens noted in the last year, overall payrolls are up 1.9%, part-time jobs are up 7.5%, and full-time employment is down 1.35%. Put simply, close to all of the new jobs on net are part-time. Over the past year, Liberty Nation has warned about this trend that was prevalent throughout the Obama years. However, at a time when inflation is ravaging the country and high prices are decimating household budgets, more people are either being forced to take on an extra job or businesses are trimming the fat and preparing for an economic downturn, essentially shedding the number of hours that people are working. Remember, the United States is presently seeing a record number of individuals working 2 or more jobs, totaling approximately 8.4 million. E.J. Antoni, a Heritage Foundation economist and guest on Swamponomics TV, summarized the U.S. labor market today on X. Quote, "The labor market looks more like Swiss cheese, with job growth being mostly limited to foreigners doing part-time work in only a few parts of the country." Now, it is true that foreign-born workers are outpacing U.S.-born workers. BLS data show that the number of immigrants, legal and illegal, work in the U.S. expanded by 3.4 million between February 2020 and March 2024. In the same period, native-born workers declined by 78,000. Now, it should be noted that it had been more than 1 million before the March jobs data. The other issue is that the government is essentially the top job creator in the country, accounting for between a quarter and 1/3 of all new jobs. Meanwhile, back to the part-time job situation. The mainstream media is beginning to take notice of a trend that Liberty Nation spotted a while ago. Here is Larry Kudlow of Fox Business discussing this issue.
Well, the top line print says 303K, that's right. But if you look under the hood, this is so strange. There's 26.8 million part-time workers, and that includes a 691,000 jump of part-time workers in March. Meanwhile, full-time workers fell 6,000. So go figure. Is this a part-time economy? Folks with multiple jobs to make ends meet, by the way, increased by 217,000. Meanwhile, in the private sector, industrial workers fell 164,000 after dropping 151,000 in February. That's not good. Hat tip to former White House economist, my great pal Joe Livornia, on that one.
Additionally, here is Fox Business host Charles Payne also talking about this issue.
No, you're absolutely right. The part-time work is a red flag. The wages are a red flag. And, of course, foreign-born getting all of the jobs while native-born are losing jobs is obviously a red flag.
So, while more people are beginning to notice the worrisome trends forming throughout the labor market, others are digging their heads in the sand.
Yeah, look, I didn't mind this number because in the last few weeks, the narrative had become that maybe we're not, maybe the consumer's gotten more frugal, maybe there's not been a lot of spending. And you've seen that the retail stocks all come down. This number says, look, don't worry about that. It's not going to be a precipitous decline. I think that the whole narrative of when they cut, will they cut, we got to kind of get away from that. What we have to say is, like, you know what? Economy's healthier than we thought, because next week we're going to be talking about profits.
Here's how CNBC Champion the latest jobs data. Quote, the strong U.S. job market is in a sweet spot, economists say. Here is Reuters. Strong U.S. labor market underpins economy in first quarter. Here is the London Guardian. Biden hails America's comeback as 303,000 new jobs in March beat forecast. Of course, many people claim this trend is part of the new economy, where people want a better work-life balance or prefer to work 1, 2, or 3 part-time jobs. This is wishful thinking, perhaps. For years, basic economic analysis has shown that part-time employment growth typically happens based on reductions in working hours in existing positions. Put simply, the jump in part-time work is caused by abysmal business conditions or workers being unable to find full-time employment. Plus, another trend has been forming over the past year, the decline in temp jobs, which is of course another recession signal. So does this mean a recession is on the horizon? Not quite. The money supply still remains above pre-pandemic levels, the government is fueling close to about a third of GDP growth, and consumers are still tapping, swiping, and inserting with their credit cards to fund their purchases of discretionary and non-discretionary goods and services. Perhaps all of these numbers are reliable indicators that Bidenomics has not been as exceptional as the current administration and the mainstream media routinely tell the public. That's it from this week. Please read my full Swamponomics column on the pages of LibertyNation.com, and be sure to check out my previous Swamponomics TV videos and interviews. Thank you. I'm Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor.
Very, very rocky.
Death by government.